Hello there and good day. My name is Kat and welcome to my channel. It has been a hot ass minute since I filmed any kind of YouTube video, so please bear with as I am getting used to things again. Today we're playing Going Medieval, one of my big obsession games for the last couple of years. I have a stupid amount of hours in it on Steam and I have zero fucking regrets. So we are going to be playing a marsh map today, which is actually something I have rarely done even since it came out. Like when it originally came out, I did play it a few times, but I wanted to really give it the good old college try. So I'm setting us up a marsh game today in which we're playing with some of my pre-selected settlers who I have been playing with a lot, and they're based on characters in one of my books, so that is why they have weird names. Please just ignore them. We also have a couple other settlers, Lionette and Uthred, who I've been also playing with a lot because I have set up this 5-team system for a while now, and it has just been absolutely working for me. You'll see they all have abilities or perks that actually really go with their skills, which is Tyr is like our animal handler, our botanist. She has excellent medicine. Like she's really like the I don't know, the constructing intellectual botanist badass bitch. She really is. But she mostly ends up doing botany and animal handling. And then we have Adrian Assassin. I know, such a good last name. I'm so creative. Thank you. He is a marksman, a shock upon shock, but he is also our carpenter, and he knows some melee and speechcraft. He is a quick man. He can run about the settlement faster than I think just about anyone can with his excellent perks. He also has a very fitting pseudonym if you didn't catch that. Now we have Eric Light, who is basically the intellectual. He does all the researching. He pretty much does that. He does the researching. He does the speechcraft. He talks to the raiders who come to try and extort us. He's a smart guy, smart feller. So he really stays in the settlement a lot. And here we have Lionette, who he's mostly our chef, like especially at the first. He actually does grow to have more skills as we go on, but in his animal handling is like top tier because I always need more than one animal handler, and then he is our chef. And then we have Uthred, who is more so our blacksmith. Like he has some good marksmanship and stuff too, which he actually just kind of started with when I originally found him. And then I gave him just some perks that I thought would align with him, because if you look at his background and his pseudonym, he's like into combat and stuff. So I like to try and make my little settlers kind of make sense in some ways, but I know it can get very, with advanced customization, it gets to the point where you can make your settlers very OP. And I do like to do that when I'm just doing kind of a fun playthrough like that. Like, they all have good abilities to start with, and that way I know no matter what, I'm gonna have 5 decent people. Also, the villagers arrive at the place to do the thing. This is my preset world, or my preset game mode. Because if you have played Going Medieval as much as I have, you probably know there are only, I think, 2 or 3 that actually start out on the main menu. We are taking a look at our marsh right now. Just getting the lay of the land. Marsh biomes, I actually really like that they're basically all water. So I wanted to really take advantage of having like an island kind of base, I suppose, even though it's like the water isn't deep enough to swim in most places. But we're starting out with the very, very basics. We are getting our logging in, we're getting some trees down, we're getting a stockpile going. We are getting a dumping pile, which I think I originally put way too close to to their little base. As you can see, it's really close to the main stockpile, which I normally don't do, but when you're just starting and you're just throwing shit down, sometimes I feel like it's best to just throw everything down, get going, get your settlers moving, because settlers, they can be some slow bitches. They can be slow as balls, and sometimes you can't work with them, so you have to kind of work against the grain a little bit. And you really have to just kind of force them to do things how you want them to do. So one of the important things also with this, I think it's called A New World, this game type that I made. They start out with most of the regular starting items that you would get in A New Life. However, they start with 5 settlers. They start out with 2 sheep, 2 chickens, and some other stuff. I start with a little more food than normal. And we start with some saplings and not saplings, seeds. We started with seeds because I just like to give myself when I'm playing a game like this, all I want to do is give myself the best absolute chance when I'm starting, so I can start quickly, I can get to building, I can get moving. This isn't about min-maxing, I'm not trying to do some survival run. Clearly this is a nice chill, let's make a nice marsh base, let's have some fun building a little town, and I'm just bringing you guys with me for the ride. So hopefully you don't get too tired of my voice anytime soon. A big thing that I have been always wanting to do in the marsh biome is I have wanted to tame mallards and watervole. I know the watervole just look like rats, but I wanted to tame them. They're cute. They're like little mousies. I love them. I think they're adorable. So I wanted to tame some mallards and some watervole this game because, as I said, I haven't had the chance and I do not play the marsh biome very often. Hillside is my preferred because of all the stone, and I am a stone living beach. So while you watch this one, you will realize there is no stone or hardly any stone on marsh biomes. So what I did was I decided this is going to be a clay town, which again, I have never really done. I have never done mostly clay because most of the biomes or maps that I play on have tons of stone. So this time we are going to be experimenting highly with the clay bricks, especially. We're going to be building all of our main structures out of clay bricks. And we'll probably get a little stone in there eventually because we do have a little deposit of it on our island. Now, what you can see here I'm doing is I'm going around the perimeter of the island trying to make it safe for my settlers and for our future animals. So I'm going around and I'm just deleting every single little slope up onto my island except for one. All the rest, gonzo. Though I do think at this point I might have missed one. I do think I find that again later though. But so this is going to be our main entrance onto the island. I do change it up a little bit later, I think in the next video, because as I am filming this, I am halfway through the second video. So do expect more to come. But today is all about just the start. It's all about getting through the basics, getting at least a little starter base down, starting to get our materials built up. I always like to start with building just like a small building that's big enough to fit my 5 settlers to sleep and eat. And then I also like to have my cooking inside with some food storage. And I believe I also put, what is it called? I don't know why I'm blanking so hard right now, but the intellectual table of sorts. I do end up putting that in there too. But as you can see, we're working on our main structure right now, which is just, it is possibly going to be a temporary structure, but it is our beginning structure. As of now, it is still there, even if where I'm filming right now. So the structure, she exists. But we're going through the settlers priority list finally. I really like to have my priorities for my job priorities set up properly. Like normally at the very first couple of days, I don't set them, and that way everyone just does whatever you tell them to. Like, if you want them to cut down a bunch of trees, they'll cut down a bunch of trees. If you want them to harvest a bunch of shit, they'll harvest a bunch of shit. So I will always get that going with that. And usually I'll set the smithing to the artist area of the job section. It's so quick and easy to do. That is one that I will just go through and I'll throw everyone where they're supposed to be. Because if they do not have a good smithing skill or a good carpentry skill or a good tailoring skill, they ain't gonna be my smith. They're not gonna be mommy's tailor. They're not gonna be up in our business. I'm sorry, they're not. We are not gonna have them working on shit, making trash quality items. We don't do that here. We have good quality in Wakefield. And no, I did not really choose that name. I just random selected it. Next time, I'm actually going to be starting another game that I can actually play with everyone on stream. And that one we will probably be doing on a hillside or valley map. And that one we're going to be actually setting up for the prison update that's out in a few weeks. I am very excited about that. We are going to be doing some shenanigans on that game. So if you like to watch streaming at all, I do suggest you go follow my Twitch channel, which is just cat_Zilla. Don't forget the extra T in cat. I will have that, of course, linked below for easy clicking, and it may even be on screen right now if I remember to do that. If I didn't, you know where to find it. So, back to the game here. We're just really working on building up our supplies. I find wood cutting is one of those things that's very underrepresented, I guess, early game. Like, early game, you just need so much wood. And even mid-game, I found this game, we're needing a lot of wood and a lot of sticks just to keep our clay brick making intact, which you will see in the next little while. But for now, we're mostly just working on the basics, and we are working on getting enough, well, enough hay and such to actually make a roof. I believe, yeah, no, we don't actually make the roof. We just do this. And then this is when I realized, wait, we don't have structural beams yet. So I can't even finish making my roof. As you can see, I am so good at this game, and I just know exactly what I'm doing at all times. She said with the biggest helping of sarcasm possible. Because I'm not that good at this game, I just like to play it a lot. The research table. I don't not know why I could not remember that. Like, 2 to 5 minutes ago. My sense of timing is weird when I'm doing a voiceover. But as you can see, we're just doing the little basics in the house. We've killed some foxes because the foxes like to go around killing all the water vole, and they like to kill all the cute little duckies. And no, you're not killing my little duckies. So we just went around, and I think I had Adrian kill them all, because we don't want them killing our little babies. And then I didn't have the island set up completely safe yet for our chickens and stuff, so I didn't want any foxes getting into our hen houses. You know? I feel like that's fair to say. Then we have Lina is finishing up the research table. I believe we get Eric on that very quickly, because we really, yep, Eric is immediately on it. He's writing away. We need that research going so I can finish this roof, first of all. One of the things I like to do early game too is I really like to parse up my stockpiles. We may start with one main stockpile for the first day, but as you can see, day 1 is almost complete and we almost have our little building up. We have a pen for our sheep and our chickens. We have the basics of our bed and stuff set up, and we're now setting up the food stockpile. I do not like to keep food outside even early game because it just spoils way faster. And then again, you have little foxies coming around eating my shit. I'm like, no, that's for the settlers. There are berry bushes. Just these foxes. They're brats. They're brats. Like, you just have to kill them because, or else they're gonna eat all your shit. Like, it's the way it is. It's unfortunate, but here we are. Now we're fucking with our stockpiles a bit. I really, really like to make sure my stockpiles are orderly, I think is the best way to say. I like them to be orderly, have things in certain places because it just makes things faster. The pathing system in this game, while workable, isn't really the best at all times, and so I find there's certain ways to work around that. And to work around that is best to just either bring all of your supplies to one area and then work around that, or it's to make different stockpiles for your different items with different priorities, different hit points, like, and to actually organize your stuff. I love organizing. I know everyone else doesn't. However, I do think it makes the game a lot easier, especially when you're first starting out. It will also help you figure out the spoil times of things, because if you leave stuff out in the snow, if you leave it out in the sun, it is going to spoil faster, especially during summer. I do like that there are some realistic kind of game mechanics like that, because we all like a little realism with our games, and I like a game to be difficult. I don't want the game to be extremely easy. I want to have challenges, and I do like that Going Medieval does present a variety of challenges, especially when you're starting. Once you've been playing the game for a while, the game becomes a lot easier, I would say. But that's when the time is to test yourself with different fun, iterations of the game, like how now we're doing a Marsh playthrough. I like to do stuff like that I haven't done a lot. Taming boars is something in this game I have never done much of because it is so goddamn hard. So in one of my past games, I made it a point to actually tame boar, and it was very, very difficult, but I did do it. So it's fun to actually go after the small things even in the game that you just haven't done before, and there always feels like there is something else like that. Like, I had a wolf pack in one of my games that I never had done before. This game we're making clay buildings, which I've used clay with buildings before, but I've never made a whole town out of clay brick. So I think a lot about this game is just giving yourself challenges and stuff to, not even just stuff to do, but giving yourself opportunities to have fun by not just playing it on easy mode, do different stuff, challenge yourself to do different things. It's fun. And now we finally have our wooden beams, so we can finish our roof. The floor is almost done, and we're also gonna get some of the merlons on the front there, because the merlons you can actually shoot down through with your arrows. So I like to put them one block out from the building, especially where the door is, and that way your people can just be right above the door shooting down at whoever's trying to break your door down. So it's almost impossible for them to ever get through that door if you have your settlers set up properly. As I said, the game can get a lot easier as you go, especially once you learn tips and tricks like that. You will also start to note, as this was the first time skip, I do have multiple time skips throughout this video. What I like to do is when I'm playing, sometimes I will just let the game go, and that way the settlers can build things, they can chop stuff down, they can do the mining, and when I come back, I will have all the material I need to do whatever I need to do. So I will often leave the game like that, and I'll go off and I'll have supper, or I will go to the bathroom, or I will be texting people on Discord, or I'll be watching anime, so I'll just be looking away for a bit while I'm watching. So I do that a lot because I didn't want to do this first video just sitting here talking as I play the game because it would be way too long. Way too long. So that's why you're getting voiceover cat today. Hello. Great to see you. You are looking fabulous today. Let's see. So we're going through our notifications because when I go away for a while, especially this early in the game, I think I went away for supper that time. There's a bunch of stuff to do when I come back. So it is time. We are setting up our garden. Or our farm, whatever. We're setting up our farm plots because we finally have access to agriculture. So we're going to do that immediately because I know the food reserves were getting low at this point. I was getting people to go look for mushrooms and berries, and that can also be kind of time consuming when you only have 5 settlers and you're trying to get them to do a bunch of stuff at once. So I like to get my farm set up early with all the basics, and especially I like to set up my initial fields where they're going to bring me in a lot of extra seeds. And it seems our first merchant is stuck in the corner. He's on timeout. He's in the naughty corner. He been bad. I don't know what he did, but he been bad. He's stuck in the naughty corner. I don't not know what was wrong with this corner, but it was so glitched. I had Eric here go try and talk to this merchant. He runs his ass all the way across this map just to talk to this merchant who is stuck up here for no apparent reason. There is very clearly a slope there in which he could walk down, but it seems his legs are broken even though he is walking around just fine. He is just incapable of walking down a slope. I don't know. We're not going to judge you, Oswald, but like a slight judgment. I don't know what's going on with you. And then Eric just fucking falls asleep as soon as he gets there. Like, Eric, you got one job. You got one job, my guy. You got one job. I told you to just barter with this fella. Anyway, early game, I like to take barley. I like to take as many seeds as I can get, even if I have enough seeds. I like to just get all the goodies I possibly can, and then I will sell what I don't need, which is usually a ton of hay because you get so much hay early game. So much. Though it is a lot harder to get later game, which can be a little frustrating, I won't lie, unless you have a lot of barley fields, and as you can see, we don't have a lot of barley to have those fields yet, and it is day 5, so we're getting some leisure activities now because I don't want my settlers to riot against me. I don't want them to rebel yet. It is not the time for that. We have work to do, jobs to behold. We have an entire whole ass garden for them to finish. Like, they have jobs. They got stuff to do. And they are working on it. It is just going to take them a while. But so we are giving them leisure so that at least in their off hours, they do have things to do. Oh, we're fucking with people's schedules again? No, we're not. Excellent. We're getting all the basic materials here. Now, deciding what to research next early game. I always pay a lot more attention to it than late game. I will not lie to you. It is only now that I will truly care about what I am getting. Because you always need architecture first, and then I almost always go for agriculture. But this time, we did go for wooden weaponry because I wanted some more bows for the rest of my settlers. Eric is still fucking asleep on the other side of the map for some reason, I see. Eric, Oh, this is when we're glitched. Yeah. This corner, I don't know what it was. It just ended up glitched. Like, as you can see, Eric can't haul anything. He's just stuck idling. It's like he doesn't think he has anywhere to haul it to. But there are, as you know, there was a lot of places they could haul it to. And see, he just constantly refused and kept idling. However, when you draft him, he immediately does what you want. But then will not haul still. And then he also would not go down the hill and kept thinking he was stuck until I removed him. It was the weirdest glitch. There are still some weird glitches like that, but this is the weirdest one I've had in a while. A game restart fixed it. I do restart here in a minute, but the game restart fully fixed it. It was just such a weird thing to have happen, especially because we just had the merchant have the same issue. So, like, clearly it felt like an issue with that corner. I did submit a bug report because it was kind of a pathfinding issue. And I wasn't sure if it would help at all. Like, when I have issues like that, I always just leave them on low priority because I know the devs have a lot going on, a lot of stuff they're working on. And honestly, like, it's just a minor issue that was resolved by restarting the game. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It wasn't like a game ending glitch or bug or anything. So we did submit that. And then I believe I restart the game as soon as I send this because we want to be helpful to the devs. I am in the Going Medieval Discord. If you are in there too, you probably see me chatting in there all the time because I don't think I'm part of like many games Discords, but when I really like a game, I will be in your Discord because I need to know the updates. I need to know what's going on. I need to get all the tea. I want to know what's coming, especially early access games like Going Medieval. Like, I love to know what's coming up next. And I love how they have their Discord set up so you can actually, like, give suggestions. And I love how their team truly listens to the community about what, like, we want next, too. Like, because there's a lot of things, like, there's a lot of minor issues I find people find with the game. And they're not game breaking. They're not that big of a deal at all. But people really like to hard focus on them instead of thinking, oh, if I just restart the game, that will fix this issue. But no, they want the issue fixed now. And they want it fixed over new content. But if it's not game breaking, it's not that big of a deal. Especially if it's like really minor issues like stockpiling. Like, if you set up your stockpiles correctly and if you actually prioritize certain things, like say you want like food prioritized, if you go ahead and you prioritize food in the proper order, your settlers will always take from the correct stockpiles. But if you don't and you just throw a bunch of shelves everywhere, they're just gonna throw everything everywhere because that's what you told them to do. Like, they're not smart. They're bots. They're settlers. They don't know what they're doing. We gotta help them, okay? Help our people. Sorry, I just went on a hell of a tangent, but we're just mining right now. This is our first clay field we mine out. We mine this out completely. I think most of it is the base of our first building, which you should see by the end of this video. Don't quote me on that because I may cut this video shorter than I have it lengthened for the voiceover because right now it is way too long. So we are focusing on preserving food also. Big early game, especially because it gives you the extra storage space, which may not seem that necessary early game, but oh, it is. It is. I find if I do not prioritize that early game, you get so much, either you get too much food and then it's just spilling all over the place, or it just doesn't get preserved correctly and it just keeps decomposing. and that's gross, and we don't want that. We want our food to stick around as long as possible. So one of the first things I focus on in most games is food preservation. We don't focus immediately on it because we're working on getting our clay, which we need to build our Great Hall, which our Great Hall is going to be kind of a multi-purpose building to begin with, which is another thing I always do. I always have big multi-purpose buildings in the beginning, and then that building will always get gradually emptied to be its true purpose once we get more stuff, and then we can actually build more things, and we can expand our village. And because a lot of the time you want to build a big castle, right? But no, we're building a village. I think villages are way cuter. They're adorable. They're way more fun to do, and you get to build way more little buildings versus just like one gigantic one. And if I don't end up liking the gigantic building at the end, it feels like so much work. Especially because you'll see how big our Great Hall structure is. I did not mean to make it this big, but it got real big. You'll see eventually how big it is, and it's obnoxious. I didn't mean to, but it happened. We are also, I don't know if you noticed it yet, but there is a little island off to the right-hand side of our island. That island will be attached to our island, because you know your girl's got fucking plans. I got so many plans that I got plans on plans. We're going to be building a lot in this game, so if you do not like watching people build and going medieval, this might not be the series for you. However, I do hope you'll stick around for the rest of this video and learn some tips and tricks, maybe even on how to improve your early game. Not that I'm min-maxing or anything right now, I am literally just playing for fun at this point. We are just playing a fun marsh run. I just wanted this to be a fun intro video back to the channel in which you can watch me play a game, get used to my voice again, you know, listen to me talk, because you're gonna be listening to it a lot if you're here. So I do hope you'll stick around. Oh, our initial optimism, that's why they're so happy. I was gonna say, why are they all green? That's so suspicious this early in the game. But it is the initial optimism. I always forget that takes like 10 days or something to wear off. I think it's like the whole spring. But as you can see, we're doing quite well for our first week of spring. We have our garden set up. We are going to be taming hella watervoles and mallards, as you can see. We're going to be killing some more foxes so they don't kill our new babies. And luckily, I believe a lot of those watervoles are actually on our main island, so it became a lot easier to tame things once I have this island just cut off from the rest of the map. Because then the watervoles have nowhere to go, they're trapped, blah blah blah, they can hang out, vibe, it's chill, it's a good time. I mean, maybe not for them because they're being tamed, captured, and put in a tiny cage, but you know, it's a good time for us. And that's all that really matters here. Oh my god, our garden is so tiny right now. It feels so pathetic. Like, this is when we upgraded. I upgrade this garden a bunch of times. And normally I don't do all the wood on the outside of it, but I don't know. I thought it looked kind of nice. Do let me know what you think in the comments. If you've ever seen some really cool designs for gardens in Going Medieval or in other games, I would love to see them, and you can feel free to leave them in the Discord, which is also linked below, and if I remember, it will possibly be on screen somewhere. But that does require I remember things, and if you know anything about me, my memory is not good. If you're here for the first time, you will soon learn. I have the memory of a goldfish. And it's sad, but it's true. And honestly, it's fine. It doesn't matter. We're here for vibes. We don't need to remember things. We're just gaming. Now we are working on our shelf organization again. We are doing very basic organization to start because this is not going to be our final kitchen, I should suppose, at all. Our final kitchen will be in the main building. Well, the Great Hall building, I suppose I should say. But we are adding some temporary storage in our temporary house where we have everything temporarily. We are grabbing, I think, tailoring. Yes, we do grab tailoring next because I believe someone loses their shirt very soon. I think it's Adrian. But I had a feeling because I played a couple games recently where I noticed their clothing ran out like pretty quickly. So I was like, just in case, we're gonna get a tailoring station because someone's gonna be walking around naked any moment. And I believe, would you have it, someone does soon. It's pretty soon. Let's see, I love to clear off the original island first. I like to make sure I'm gathering like all the supplies and stuff now because again, I like the materials to be close by for my settlers to use, especially with cooking and crafting. Our first settler, would you look at that? Herefrith. Or I guess our first newcomer, not our first settler. Our first new settler to the team. They're running from a pack of enraged philosophers, so you know we have to take care of them. Though they have an art skill that's real high and the rest are seamen real meh. But honestly, early game, I am never going to turn away anyone because I want you to construct things or I want you to farm. I want you to do something useful. And if you're coming into my team, you will be useful. You will be. So we're bringing Herefrith into the team. I believe Herefrith has some problems later, but we'll get to that eventually. We need to get an extra bed in. We still have enough seats at our table. And we are getting way too many books in here at this point because we hadn't got our bookshelves yet. A lot of the early game is just you like grinding out those books. You want to grind out your research so you can unlock everything you need. Because a lot of the really like starting items are locked. You need to go research. You need to get your wooden beams. You need to get your agriculture going, and then usually you want like weapons or you want preserving food. It depends what kind of run you're doing. We haven't been raided yet, so we're still doing pretty okay. We're doing okay on food. Like, we're having a pretty safe first run. We haven't encountered any big problems at all, which is shocking. Something always goes wrong early game. But I guess we did have Eric's weird but he had his weird moment where he was just glitched in the corner. That was our only problem, and honestly, that was a game glitch. That's not even really a problem. We're going ahead a day here, and now we are getting our mining is in full swing. I believe, yeah, so we're making an area where we can eventually put a path down. I do not want a single settler to be hauling a goddamn thing. You do not want your settlers to be hauling things because it is a waste of their time. However, early game, you need them to. So, before you can get any dogs, once you have dogs, it's just great. I love once you finally have dogs. Then you don't have your people running all over the place to get like a piece of wood across the entire map. But I digress. So we're safeifying our secondary island now. It is going to be part of our main island. We're going to make a bridge to it eventually, but for now we are just making it safe because there was the mallards up there. There was a couple water voles. Then I knew I wanted to tame them and I didn't want a fox to get to them, so I was like, all right. We're going to protect our second island while they're mining because I don't like to start building until I am sure I have a good amount of materials to get a decent start. Like, I don't need to have the materials for the entire whole building, but I want to have enough materials to get a really good start in. So that is what we're working towards right now, is getting those materials, and we're working on getting towards our clay brick making. We are working on getting all of our systems set up. Like, the first spring is all about just setting up your people, setting up their jobs and their schedule and managing them and getting a lot of that like micro work done. And once you're done all that micromanaging, you don't have to do it as much throughout the game, which is why I like to do it as characters come in, as you get new settlers, as you unlock new things. I like to really keep organized as the game goes, or else it just makes for a lot of work later when you eventually do want to organize things. So if you start out reasonably organized, you save yourself some time down the road. Like right now, we're going through and we're adjusting everybody so I don't have to do it later. But unfortunately, violent extortionists, called the philosophers, have arrived, and I don't know what's gonna happen. No, we're fine. Baldred is creeping at the corner of our little map see. But our people aren't awake yet, so we're just gonna leave them there. That is one thing I like about when the negotiator arrives. You have like 24 hours to just leave them there. So I'll let my people sleep. I'll let them pray, get their food in the morning, and I'll be like, okay, now you can go talk to the new man. Like, they're being very patient, sitting at their fire in the piss-pouring rain. And, like, maybe I should send Eric over there to negotiate sooner, but, like, Baldred is just, he doesn't seem bothered. He's vibing, he's chilling, chilling, relaxing, acting all cool. It's fine, don't worry. Getting our tailor out here. Did someone's shirt break? I knew it. I knew someone's shirt would break soon. I can't see in their pictures because a lot of the avatars on the left side don't always update immediately. So I can't tell if any of them's not wearing a shirt yet, but we will find out soon. They might all still be clothed at this point. Someone loses a shirt soon. Okay, but we're setting up our clay brick making area. So I like to have my clay bricks I like it to be so the settler can literally like put the clay in there, do its thing, and as soon as the clay's bricks are done, they can grab the bricks and just put them right in the stockpile. Like, they barely have to walk 2 feet. Because let me tell you, pathing in this is weird. And sometimes they just don't want to listen or behave. So sometimes if you leave very organized stockpiles around like this, they'll be the clay's right there. They can grab the clay, shove it in the brick oven, and then it comes out and they just put it right in the pile right there. It's great. They don't have to run, because sometimes if you leave your stockpile way far away, then they have to run to that stockpile. And it's a lot of wasted time. And I don't like to waste time in this game, even though, as I was mentioning before, I do have a bad habit of just leaving the game going. When I am, I'll, go eat supper or something. Usually I will go get supper, bring it to my room, and eat it. So I can, keep an eye on the game, but it will still just be running in the background while I'm doing something else. I do that a lot during work, and I do that a lot all the time. So it does make my gameplay revolve around that way of playing a lot. It's very, I go from micro to macro a lot. So I will micro manage everything so that then I can simply macro the game. If that makes sense. If you understand that. I am a game strategist. I love to play strategy games, so micro and macro managing, I'm very used to it, and I find it makes the game, the flow is a lot better that way, though there can be some very lulled periods where you're just waiting for your settlers to do things. But that is how I like to set it up, and sometimes I like them to go at their own pace so we don't, run out of food, we don't run out of wood, because what I could do is I could go into everyone's jobs, and I could set it so that they all go mine for a few days, and then that way I have all the mining done. But then that can also cause other problems where you don't have enough food or you don't have enough other resources. Essentially, what it boils down to is I don't want my people to starve while we're building a castle. So I will, a lot of the time, leave their job priorities the way they are. In that way, they will still continue to do their other jobs. No one goes hungry, no one dies, and it all works out in the end. We're just doing the basic points anyway, still. Oh, we have a raid. The raid is here. This raid, the early raids, when you have 5 or more people, they're very pathetic. I'm not gonna lie, they are. We do have we have a very good start where I made sure everybody has weapons. We don't have full armor or anything, but we don't need it at this point. We don't even have reinforced doors or anything, but again, at this point in the game, we don't really need it, especially because I set us up on an island with 1 entrance, so we are fairly protected where we're at right now. So I was not worried about this raid at all. It's 4 people, you know? It's 2 less than I have. And I think we only had Herefrith was the only one without a weapon so far. So it was going to be very easy to just get our people together, get everybody drafted, get everybody over to the 1 entrance to protect. See, everybody's just, they're running out there. There's extortionists on their way. There's raiders coming for Herefrith, and Herefrith is our new friend. Herefrith is our new buddy. We gotta protect them against these philosopher crazies. At least it's not the cannibals. Some people will protect from cannibals too, and it's a wild world out there. It's a wild west beyond Wakefield, let me tell you. I believe they only have 1 archer. Did they even have? They have 1 archer. Oh, they're screwed. 1 archer against my 5. There is no winning. This was a bloodbath. This was brutal. This wasn't even a fight. This was a murder. And honestly, it was their own fucking fault too, because they didn't need to attack us. Listen, Herefrith did nothing. Herefrith existed, and y'all just got problems with the poor lass. I think that's a lass. Either way, the poor chap. They're fine now, and it's okay because the philosophers are gone. And we get some new materials from them. That is one thing I like about raids. I like to just be able to take all of their weapons. We can take all of their armor, all of their helmets. It is fabulous. We get so much gear from them. Early game raids are the best. Late game raids just get boring and annoyingly timed. But I love the early game raids because they're very helpful. I don't know if you've noticed, but we have a very luxurious little island here. We have so many mushrooms growing. We have so many herbs. We have so many berries. This was truly a good map choice, and it was random. I know. It was a random choice. It was my first choice too. I just rolled a few maps and was like, you know what? I like the look of this one. And usually I'm way more picky. Usually I will spend 30 minutes just re-rolling maps until I find something I love, or I will use a map from the Map Seeds channel in the Going Medieval Discord, which is full of beautiful maps, both from other people, and I think I have a few in there myself. So if you ever see any maps in there that you think I should play, do let me know, because as you can see, I love the shit out of this game. It's kind of an obsession. But right now we are just giving our settlers a ton of shit to do. We're just making sure they have all the food they need, all the linen, all the hay, just materials in general. because we have no dogs right now, so it's kind of hard to tell how much we have where it's not all stockpiled. A lot of it is just laying around the map. So we gotta get that nice and categorized here, all in our lovely, lovely little stockpiles. We're officially getting our bricks going here. We have a fair bit of clay dug up. Not as much as I would like, but we will work on that in the coming days. But we're finishing off spring here with our clay in the making. We are getting rid of the rest of the clay here now that we have some steps down, though I do like to wait until there's a way through to each section before I actually parse out all the clay in there, because or else I find they're dumb. They have they have bad pathing sometimes. They're just stupid. They'll just get themselves trapped on top of a piece of clay, and then they'll starve, and it's a whole hullabaloo that I just don't feel like dealing with right now. So I just will do my best to keep them in order, I guess, in line. I don't think at this point, did I get yes, I do get fermenting here, I think. Like, I don't usually get fermenting very early, because fermenting is one of those things, it just takes so much food away when you could really use those resources for food versus drinking. So I don't want any of my little people being little alcoholics, so I will wait, and later they can be alcoholics. Once we have our great hall set up, once we have everything together, then they can be alcoholics. But right now I need them to work, and that's not acceptable. I think I was trying to fix everyone's jobs right now. I wanted everyone to be like mining more, and sometimes you have to go in and you have to force them to mine. Sometimes it has to be done. But I try and always make it the people who aren't super important right now. Like, Adrian's major tasking is carpentry. Is he doing any carpentry right now? No. Then he can mine. Are we going to get Eric to do that? No, because Eric needs to be on the books all day. He needs to be researching, because where are we without research? Nowhere. And I know there's a lot of stuff I wanted at this point, and I was just like, Eric, could you get your little buns moving, please? Like, I want my research done. And he's just taking his sweet old time. Could I have another little intellectual working away in the books? Probably. Will I waste resources when I have 6 people? No. So no, we only have 1 researcher. And it is such a pain early game. Which is actually why Tyr, she has some intellectual too, because originally she's like my backup intellectual in case we need the books to go faster, I guess. Did that mallard just lay eggs down there as it was going to sleep? Alright, bud. Alright, you do you. You know, enjoy your life. No judgment. We are in the middle of the night here. Oh my god, this is when we were looking at them. Okay, these are our babies, guys. These are our children. Here are our little sheepies. And we have our little rat water bowl. Isn't it adorable? I love them. I think they're so cute. Look at the mallard. The ducky. Ah, I love him. I did name him Ducky. This is Ducky. I love him forever. I think this is Matthias, isn't it? I know Matthias is a mouse, but yeah, I named him Matthias. Yep. I can't be stopped. Okay? I love Redwall. I'll even name a watervole Matthias, okay? Anyway, that was just, I wanted to show you guys the animals because I thought they're so cute. And I don't zoom in enough in this game sometimes, I find. I found myself when I was recording, I was zooming in a little more than I usually do because, again, once I get the micro figured out in this game, I macro a lot, so I'm very zoomed out to, like, be, like, macroing around, like, seeing what they're doing versus, nitpicking what they're doing. But we're getting our nice little clay mine, I guess. It would be like a clay mine. We're getting our nice little clay mine going here. Ah, there's the research. Ah, it's looking phenomenal. We have so much research. I see at this point, terraforming was like all I desired. It's all I wanted in life was terraforming. I absolutely love the terraforming. Like, I love being able to actually like shape how the land looks, and we will really be landscaping a lot later once we have a lot of dirt built up. But in the beginning, I don't like to do it a lot because it's just takes a lot of extra time and we don't have a lot of people and we could be focusing on other things. But we are getting this island ready for boarding. Not for boarding, but for like bringing into our new country. We are going to annex this land soon and bring it into our kingdom. We make a little bridge, and see, now that the land is like nicely cleared out, you can really see how much room we have to work with. So like I was planning on doing like the big building on one side and then having the houses kind of circling on the other side, and then that way all the work stuff is mostly in the middle and then the bigger buildings are on the outside, or at least that's the plan right now. Even where I'm at, like building myself, where I'm recording right now, it is not that far. So I don't 100% know what we're doing yet. If you have any thoughts and ideas, I would love to hear them. We are getting Eastmana now, I believe. Eastmana. That's how we're going to pronounce it. Unfortunately, I could not figure out how to change anyone's name once we were actually in game, so we're just going to have to deal with it. So she isn't bad though. She has a great melee skill. She has a great medicine skill. She is unconscious in the water drowning. Oh no, someone save Ismana. Adrian, you're gonna have to book it across that map. She's drowning fast, man. She's drowning fast. Look at the water. She is beneath the this woman has drowned by the time you get there, sir. Like, if this were real, drowned. Dead. Absolutely. Doesn't even get to see our town, just dead. It's sad. It's a sad existence for Ismana. I know. Like, she's literally drowning and no one's doing anything to help her. Like, hello? When has the world become so cruel? And now Tyr is going after her instead. I don't know what happened to Adrian. Adrian was like, you know what? I think I'd just rather she drowned. Savage, Adrian. That's fucking savage. I think someone's going after her. No, she gets up. Can you imagine? You've been drowning for like several hours. You finally wake up and hobble your way to your new fucking town. Like, only to fall in oh my god, she's just drowned again. Drowned again. She is dead twice over. This poor woman. She has died twice now. No one is going after her. Everyone is busy. Will she save herself? Find out next time. I'm just kidding. We are gonna find out this time. Because I had to force someone to go save her from drowning. Like, and as you can see on the sidebar, the tending wounds, as that switches, it's like they're all cycling who wants to go look after her, and everyone's like, nah, I'd rather she drown. No, you know what? She could drown. No, we don't. Do we need a new person right now? Everyone's real skeptical about Ismana. You know what? Maybe we should look into Ismana. Maybe she's not okay. I actually don't remember what her, not her skills and her perks. I don't remember what her pseudonym is. Maybe that has something to do with why everyone wants Ismana to drown. But you know what? At least she's home now. Ismana, you're safe. You're safe. You're in Wakefield now. They can't hurt you anymore. And finally, I made Tyr heal her, because it's just like, come on. Like, guys, let's get it together, please. There, I find I can't tell if it's not the pathing, it's just the priority system. It gets a little weird too when you've been 3 timesing the speed for so long. I do find that is an unfortunate factor. But it's okay. It just requires game restarts every now and then, and usually that fixes everything. But we're cleaning up our territory here because I know I need a lot of wood and a lot of sticks for the clay making. So I know I was trying to get everything like in one place, but we don't like have dogs at this point. So I have to get the settlers to actually haul stuff to the stockpiles, which again is such a waste of resources and time. But early game, sometimes you have to do it. Sometimes you gotta if you don't want them running back and forth constantly to get that one piece of wood on the other side of the map. It's ridiculous, but we're gonna get some more researching on the table, and we're starting to wrap up here now. We have a bunch of our clay dug out. We got some clay bricks going. Our researching is going well. Herefrith refuses to sleep. You know, it's just one of those days. We have a lot to do and much more to come. In the next video, we will be working on our bridge over to the other island. We will be beginning on our Great Hall / kitchen building. And we will be doing so much more, including a lot of clay brick making, just like a lot. So just like be ready for that. But thank you so much for watching my first video back on YouTube. My name is Kat, and I hope you have a lovely day, lovely night, lovely whatever time it is for you, wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.